What are these compartments for on this bottle opener? It kinda looks like a contact lens case, but I don't know why it would be on a bottle opener. What do you think it is for? They are extra bottle caps so you can recap your drink from the 1960s. You put the green and red caps on the bottle to keep the fizz fresh and to keep the bugs out. What is this solid metal object in the wall next to the door? It's located in an old house in the UK and doesn't seem to do anything. The house is at least 100 years old. I'm at one of my relatives' house and I keep noticing this thing. It's made from metal and it has a weird knob thing on it. I Google image searched, but it only came up with ceiling roses. And I don't think it's one of those. And I don't think it's a doorstop either, because firstly the door doesn't open to that side and secondly, that door hasn't been changed since it was built. So it would have been pointless. Plus it's the only one in the house. I'm thinking it could maybe be like a time capsule. Any idea what it is? I'm pretty certain it's a bell pull used to call servants. You pulled the knob in the front and a cord pulled down to make a bell ring. My grandmother's house still has them in every room. Although they don't work anymore. They rang a bell in the maid's quarters and they knew which room was looking for help. What is this 3.5-inch long brass item with a small coin and a woman's face on the hinge that says, Isabel tu por la gracia de Dios, y la const 1852. It has a hinge but doesn't really open wide and with a square hole in the center. What is this thing? It's most likely a nutcracker with an 1852 real Spanish coin, maybe for fancy people to eat sunflower seeds instead of cracking them open with their teeth and spitting them out. Spaniards do love their sunflower seeds. What are these concrete walls found by the highway in rural Minnesota? No construction apparent. About 20 of these concrete walls are in alternating positions and maybe 25 feet wide by 15 feet tall. This was a farm area that looked to be mostly wheat. Maybe these are used as a barrier to break up the wind and prevent crop damage. Any ideas? People refer to them as the T-walls. They are just a portion of 12,000 acres seized from farmers in the 1940s. The land became the seventh and final gunpowder plant in the country built for World War II. The US Army built a factory here to make a special kind of smokeless gunpowder for the war, but it took them a while to get it up and running, and by the time it actually was, the war was over. What they did here was one of the most hazardous steps in producing the gunpowder. The idea was that if there was an explosion, they were far enough apart that the walls would blast to the side and the roof would go straight up. The Army gave the whole property to the University of Minnesota after the war, including a lot of other land around it. What is this leather box with stamping on the bottom? This is made of leather with a latch and handle. On the bottom is stamping Arasso, and the inside is red with a pocket. The handle is stationary and does not move. It feels and looks like high-quality leather and craftsmanship. I found this at a Goodwill in Colorado. When I look online for anything similar, nothing comes up for this. The latches are sturdy and feel like a metal of some sort. What is it exactly? It's a Florentine box purse, and they were popular in the 1950s. The leather goods from Florence were of very high quality, and all I know Rosso Fiorentino was a company making shoes and bags during that era. What is this porcelain or maybe clay cat sculpture about 7 inches tall, hand-painted in Japan with salt shaker type holes at the top and a metal grate at the bottom? It has a small cork on the back and some sort of disc is on the inside, made of either cork or paper. It moves around inside when shaken, and there doesn't seem to be any moving parts to grind pepper or anything like salt. Thank you for your time. It's a salt or pepper shaker that meows when you shake it. It was made in Japan in the 1950s, and the fill hole is in the side, not the bottom. What is this metal hand tool? The handle piece has D7, and the other piece has D8 in raised letters, and the headpiece rotates side to side. I found it in a barn along with various tools. It looks heavier than it is, probably about the weight of a 20 ounces hammer. I think it's not necessarily a farm tool because lots of different items are found with this one, and most are not farm related. Any ideas? It's a barbed wire fence stretcher. I'm just not sure of the date, but it's antique. My guess is you put the wire between the M shape in there, Then as you lean on it, the wire is pinched and held onto. What is this solid metal thingy with a channel cut into it? It was found in a box of cables, but has no relation to them, and it looks like a bread lollipop. I don't even know what realm of this world I'd search to figure out what it is. It was just randomly found in a box of cables, and neither of us had any idea what it might be or need from. I appreciate any info. It's a toothpaste key from the 1950s. It's used to roll up the toothpaste tube as you use it to get out every gram of toothpaste, also called a tube roller key. What is this wooden peg with a wooden ring, found under the floorboards near some glass bottles and a broken teacup, possibly over 100 years old? The house used to be a boarding house and makeshift tavern over 100 years ago in rural Victoria, Australia. We found a number of glass bottles from the era in the garden and under the house. This peg was a couple of meters from the bottles, so I don't know if it's used with them as a stopper or not. It's thinner than the bottleneck, but it may have shrunk or dried out over the years. I'm just curious if anyone knows what it is. It's a wooden bottle stopper from the 19th century. Here's a short story. Edward Hogben patented his friend Henry Barrett's stick bottle patent in Victoria, Australia in 1870. The patent was a wooden sticker dowel and rubber seal inside the bottle. Hogben grew up in Kent, England. He became acquainted with Henry Barrett, who in 1868 invented this type of stick stopper. Barrett and Company was a successful maker of cordials and aerated waters in England from the 1860s. Hogben had so much confidence in the stick seal invention that he purchased a half share in the patent rights and decided to single-handedly introduce the invention into the Australian colonies. In March 1870, he advertised in the Australian newspapers that he had applied for the patent of an improved apparatus for manufacturing aerated beverages, and that he was the inventor of an improved bottle stopper. What is this box? Around 40 by 50 centimeters and 60 centimeters high, and weighs 5 kilograms. The lid has C207 and 1941 imprinted on it with a propeller. It's made of metal and it's empty. I found it in New South Wales, Australia, and I'm guessing it's from the war, but I would love more information if anyone knows. It's an ammo box for an ordnance quick-firing 2-pounder anti-tank gun, a British anti-tank gun and vehicle mounted, employed in the Second World War, probably left over from one of New South Wales munitions factories from World War II. There was a really big one in what is now St. Mary's in Western Sydney, and another one in Lithgow and Rutherford up near Newcastle. What is this thing? It's 11 centimeters long and made from pewter. The head is kind of flat, and there are some kind of Native American symbols, I think. The inscription says Pewter Canada. I am from Europe, so I don't know much about Canada. I can't say more about the origin, and I tried to find it on Google but no luck. Any ideas? Please let us know in the comments. Thanks for watching. Let's make life fun.